We have Aussie New Zealand here coming into our level of entry, so that's great to see. That is ripe now. And we have our bullish bias, also gold slowly moving to the downside, waiting for that break to head lower, possibly with tomorrow's news. So before that, welcome once again to the midweek review, and let's have a look at what we planned the beginning of this week and how we can continue on that. Where's the market at? Well, we have Wednesday's trading done, and tomorrow we've got that CAD rate has been and gone, and tomorrow now the focus becomes euro and some on dollar as well. We've got big rate news on euro, so the focus will be euro pairs. Those are the ones to watch. With that, let's just go into the chart here. Let's have a look on the daily on the dollar, and we're continuing higher, not going any lower. It now looks like we are more likely to head higher. No reversal here on the dollar. You can see these wicks to the downside, leaving a clue that we may be heading higher overall. But let's see until tomorrow finishes, the US news goes by, and then we'll have a clearer picture. Definitely next week will be even better once we have the weekly candle close. All right, let's begin with New Zealand dollar as we looked at that. And what do we have on New Zealand dollar? We had the bearish bias. We had that break to the downside. We retraced. There's an entry here, went lower, but then completely reversed. So that's that. That's a failed trade, and planned that, but it didn't quite work out. I mean, it did move lower. You may have been a break even, but we have invalidated, and now it is no longer the same scenario. So what do we do here? Well, again, we wait for the dollar news to play out. That would be the wiser move. And what do we see here on the daily candles? No indication here. We don't have a close above here. We have a wick from the previous day, and that's Wednesday's day. And are we going to go lower or higher? I am not sure yet. So there's a few scenarios here. We have the high up here and the low up here. We have a retracement 61.8 level. If we're going to continue lower, we may also head higher. We just don't know yet. There's no clarity. For us to go lower, I really want to see a more expensive price and a turnaround, or a reversal, a pullback, a retracement, and then continuing to the upside. We'll see if we get to that level. First of all, we first have to do that. For now, we are choppy, sideways action, just like on the dollar index, but reverse. And there's no clarity on New Zealand dollar yet. But for me, I do want to see lower prices. We are still weak. So that would be the so-called bias or the preference for New Zealand dollar. But you never know. I don't want to make assumptions. But for now, we may go higher still, and then we'll see what happens when we get to that 61.8 level. So if I take this level, this is the level that I'm talking about, or the zone. And we'll see what happens when we reach that level, if we do get there this week. All right. Yeah, otherwise it will become bullish beyond here and beyond, definitely beyond this level right here, this high. For now, waiting to see what happens. Let's go into the euro yen now. And what are we looking for in euro yen? Well, we have two scenarios. We still have an uptrend, so we're still looking at this uptrend at a possible reversal of this level. Let's have a quick look on the 4-hour time frame. And we may have a reversal here, we may not. What we want to see is, if that is going to be the case, we want to see a break of the high. So break here, and then let's just get rid of that. So a reaction of here just a reaction of the level, a break of the structure here to the left, getting a better price, retracement, and then heading higher. So that is the first option. However, if we don't get that, then if we continue to break down and we break down below these lows, then break below these lows would indicate draw this properly, would indicate further downside, and then we look for a pullback and then continue to the downside. Something like this, perhaps. However, it looks like, I don't know. But let's see how it works out. That would be the two scenarios here. At the moment, we don't quite have a clear reversal here. There's what looks like a pin bar, but it's not very strong. And want to see what happens at this level. So far, nothing going on here. If you want, you can draw a kind of a trend line if it helps you, but either way, a break of the structural high here is the idea for the buy scenario, or the sell if we had lower. We'll see what the market wants to tell us. Okay, euro pound. So euro pound is an interesting one because we are at extreme lows. We have broken this previous month's low, December's low. We are now poking through it, and the question is, are we going to reverse off these lows, or are we going to head lower? So let's have a look here. You can see that we have the euro interest rate decision and consumer confidence. We have GDP here. Several news pieces. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. Now, what do we want to see? Well, if we are going to have a reversal, then we want to see a clear break of structure, and the last swing high is now here. So a break, clear break, nice break, pull back, and then continuing to the upside. And the other possibility is if we collapse, then we want to see a collapse of this low. I think we wrote that in. Yes, a close below. So we want to see a close below, and that should be on the daily, a real strong close. What you can see right now developing is a wick to the downside. So no strong close there, barely closed. I really want to see a nice strong push to the downside in order to confirm this idea, which is the sell. So a nice strong push, retracement, no reversal sign, clear bearish candles, and then the move to the downside. If you want to wait longer, you can wait a bit longer until the market pushes even lower and breaks this low. And if it does, then we'll have even higher probability to continue to the extreme low, which is down here, as you can see, to the left, if we head into it. Okay, so that could be a possibility as well. We'll just have to wait and see once again the news to hit, and then respond according to that. For now, sitting on my hands. If you like this video, guys, remember to subscribe and click the bell notification. I'll be putting these out regularly, as I always do, and we can follow along with what the market is doing. So that is euro pound. Now let's go into euro CAD. Nothing much has changed on euro CAD, has it? It's quite frustrating, but it is what it is. We are stuck in this range, and now the question is, are we going to head higher, lower? Are we going to continue in this range? We draw our scenarios. Option A has not happened, option B has not happened, and option C has not happened. We are still inside the range, and how much longer are we going to stay in? Who knows? Let's wait and see. At the moment, we have this big engulfing candle, pretty much engulfing on the daily time frame, but overall on the high time frame, we are in the range. So nothing to do here. This is not yet bullish. It's not yet bearish. It's neither here nor there. We did look at a higher risk entry on a break of this level. We had the retracement. You could have had a possible entry here to head lower, but as I said, that was a higher risk because we're in a range, and so it proved to be the case. A brief momentum to the downside and then pushing higher. Still stuck in the range. So nothing to see here, nothing interesting. We are still stuck, and it is what it is. We're going to have patience. We don't want to be trading ranges, these long periods. We want to trade trends. And at the moment, we do not have that trend. So nothing to see here. New Zealand, this is clearly a bullish trend continuing to the upside. And as we saw, we marked this low, we marked this level, and we had a brief, what looked like it was going to be a bounce of this level, failed, and we went lower. So that was a failed idea. And we're now instead chopping here. You could call this whole move a range. But how can we look at it? Well, we can see the fact that we had a break of this structural here, a low, that was violated briefly. And the question is, are we going to head lower? So now that we've broken through this low, we still are bullish, and therefore we would look for a bullish scenario. And when is the next bullish scenario to look for? Well, better price, somewhere where we can get in that makes sense. Now, what does it make sense? Well, the cheapest price is this level down here. Now that we've broken through it, so if we come back down into it and then continue higher, that will be a great cheap price to enter from. So there we are. And the last low will be the low down here. So this will be the validation point. So I don't expect the market to go below here. We may come down. Let's say we have a reversal. And the better way to look at it, if you don't want to trade right on the zone, would be down here, a push higher, and then wait for a retracement, better price. Once this low has been set, has been fixed into place, so to speak, after we've had a momentum push, then we know after we've broken some structures to the left, we know that this low will hold. So then we look for retracement and then continuing to the upside. So perhaps some kind of level like this, something like that. That would be my preference. Really, really want to see the lower prices now that we have violated this low, and it's just not clear. Not clear if we are going lower or higher. Of course, the daily time frame will be clearer. At the moment, this candle is not very clear. We've had a brief pause, a pullback. And since we've broken this lows, I don't know where we're going from here. Let's wait and see. This is going to require a little bit more waiting now that we don't have a clear picture. Okay, let's go into the Aussie New Zealand. So this is the interesting one because we've been monitoring this for a while. We have the break higher, this momentum high. This low has now been set, been fixed. We've broken higher, and now we are retracing, getting a better price. And now that the market is giving us a better price, fantastic. Let's make use of it. Let's go down into the 4-hour and we now have a better price developing, which is this initial idea that I had at the beginning of the week. We briefly took many traders on the buy scenario, pushed higher, and then reversed all of them and took them all out. We did not have any reversal, any clear picture to trade, a clear price action to trade this level here. Once we broke higher, the market ran through it, and now we're coming to the downside. So what can we have? Well, there is a bit of a level here. So we may get a push even further down. I mean, this is a valid entry as long as you have enough room for the stop. However, for Aussie and New Zealand, this is a very, very wide stop. It's up to you, but let's wait and see whether the market turns around. Really want to see some kind of turnaround, some kind of reversal, and that will be a great scenario with a decent risk to reward. From here, about 45 pips, and then we have 90, so that's a 2 to 1, and then here we have even more. That's about 3-4 to 1. So that will be the trade. Aus New Zealand developing nicely and really giving a better price right now. This is what we call cheap prices, what we call really good prices to enter. And that is the main idea all the time, to really enter at the best possible price. So cheap price is a good place to buy. Now let's move on to gold. And gold, we had the sell idea, sell bias. We're now chopping around. Once again, dollar is unclear, so gold will be unclear, priced in dollars. And we really want to see this level, as I said, broken or this high broken to validate the buy bias. So far we had neither, and therefore continue to wait. Let's see what the news brings tomorrow on the dollar, whether that will play any factor or we continue to range and we'll have to wait until next week. For now, though, we have the daily is showing wicks, so bearish. It's still weak. It's still not very clear, but more weak than anything else. We've had this break structure to the low down here off this level with a brief retracement. Now the market is hesitating. You can see this, the way these candles are forming, the hesitation, the wicks to the upside, the lackluster closes of the day, which indicate that the market is not quite able to go higher. If you want, you could draw this zone, and as you can see, we are bouncing off this level. So the downside is the preferred option. However, I'm not going to assume it just yet until we have a clear bearish close day and preferably close below this low. And then we can say that we have set our direction. Quick look on the 4-hour. This is what we've got. So really favoring the downside. If you were to enter right here or right now, then it will be a bit of a riskier move and may play out, may not, but just know that it may be a little bit riskier. So that's our game plan for gold, and that is it for the week. Let's go for today, the week and today. Here's our plan. Here's our dollar once again, and there we are. So watching out for the news, euro and the dollar for tomorrow and Friday. We have a little bit of dollar news, but expect it to be just a continuation of tomorrow, of Thursday. Okay, see you on the next video. We'll review what happened on Friday, and good luck in trading for now. Bye, guys.